Well, hello. It is Sunday, June 11th. I haven't done a garden video in a little while, so I decided to do that today. This is one of the beds that I have not completely cleaned out. It needs a lot of work still, but there's a lot of borage coming up in it, and I have transplanted a lot of that into my other gardens because the pollinators love the borage. If you're not sure which one is borage, let me zoom in just in case. Okay, that would be a borage. Right there, this little guy. That's a young borage. Put out a delightful flower, that little blue one, that the pollinators love. And we don't have a whole lot of pollinators this year. I did this morning see some on my spirea, which makes me feel much better. And I heard one. I couldn't tell what it was, didn't see it, but when I was working this morning in the vegetable garden, I did get buzzed. So that's good. So that's one of the raised beds that I filmed earlier this year that has its share of problems. This is another one. That is my Egyptian walking onion bed, which got overgrown, but it's not an emergency for me. I'll get to it. I did have it cleaned out though. And then there's some potted tamaracks in there that I did intend to sell. Some nice poppies that the pollinators love too. There's the strawberry bed that I had to take down from, it's just about 8 feet long, and I had to reduce it to 4x4. It's doing really well. I ate a strawberry yesterday. I see a couple of more ripening up in there. And I use native strawberries from the Pacific Northwest, and some of these are wild strawberries or native strawberries from Sweden, which I also like a lot. And then this bed here is where I put my multiplier onions, which are doing really well. And I've got some poppies coming up. The bulbs, almost all of the bulbs bloomed. There's our multiplier onions, and they're coming right along. I guess I'll probably harvest them in August. But they're nice because you plant one bulb, and when you pull them up, they're like potatoes. You have a lot of little bulbs. And then you just replant one of the bulbs, preferably the biggest one from each group, in the fall, and do it again. You only have to buy them once. And here's where I put a couple of my borage. You can see those. And of course the bulbs that bloomed earlier this year. I've got my alliums. One of my favorites. I love alliums. So then let's take a look at how the vegetable garden is coming. Where are we at? Let me get this camera right. So this is the vegetable garden that I filmed before I started working on it. What did I put this under? I put this under, the video that I made for myself to see how much work I got done. Yes. So it's coming along. It's about 13 feet wide, 50 feet long. And so far we've got, the parameters have herbs and flowers for the pollinators. So I've got sunflowers coming up all along the fencing of this. I put in some asters. I had some baby asters. I put them in. Right there is a fennel. Let's zoom in on that fennel. I love fennel, and I use a lot of it. Am I zooming in? Yes, there we are. There's the fennel. Okay. That was already there. Didn't have to put that in. But I put some calendula and what else did I put in here? borage, calendula. I'm going to move some baby columbines that I saw today over here because we want lots for the pollinators. And I will also put in more linaria. I put some of that in here. I put in a bear's breech. That's a poppy that I left alone when I was digging that out this morning. And, well, let's talk about what we planted. The tripod are my pole beans. And there are 2 coming up at each pole except for one. A third one came up, and it looks today like a third one has poked its head out of one of those poles. In the center, I put 3 sunflowers. To the right of that is kohlrabi, and then some Swiss chard. And then down here, just below the Swiss chard, I put in some, what did I put in? Zucchini. I put zucchini in there. So I've got zucchini, Swiss chard, kohlrabi, some beans, and remember, this is very small. I've only put in a few of each thing because it's only my husband and I, so there's not a lot. We're not going to eat a lot of it, and he doesn't like kohlrabi. He's not wild about Swiss chard. Got all those little sunflowers coming up. This is a corn bed that I put in, and it's a really small one. It's only 4 rows that are 10 feet long. We see all 10 feet? I think so. But I don't even care if we just end up with stalks. I'll just feed them to the piggies. Not a problem. And then here we have 3 pumpkin hills, mostly for the pigs. I put in 1 giant pumpkin. 1 hill is giant pumpkin, and that's for my granddaughter. She likes the big pumpkins. And 1 is, or 2, actually, I'm sorry. 2 of these, those 2 right there, are the little French Cinderella sweetie pumpkins. And those will be for the pigs, and I'll freeze up a little bit of it, or they keep pretty well, so we can do sauteed pumpkin. We like that as a veggie. And then I've got the rest of this to go, and my helper officially starts on Tuesday, 10, 11, 12, 13, the 13th. Tuesday the 13th she starts. So that'll be great. And then I'm going to have her help. She's never set posts or anything. And I've got to get the big gate in here between those 2 green posts with the white caps. That's approximately 6 feet. And there will be a big gate so I can bring my lawn tractor in. And then over to the right of that, there's a shovel handle leaning against the fence, will be a narrow man gate. So that when I'm in the garden, and it's completely fenced so the dogs can't get in, I can get out if I need to. Something happens with the pigs, or I've got to put a bucket of garden trimmings in for the pigs. They're right behind me, so instead of walking all the way around, I can just scoot out the little man gate and dump a bucket in their paddock. Oh, I can hear the piggies. I don't know if you can hear them or not. So that's what's going on in here. And it's coming right along. I'm very pleased with it. And my helper and I will finish up that end at some point. But that's not critical right now. It's going to take me a few years to get this garden, the soil where I want it. It's excellent soil. And when I had the soil tested, I've got more than what I need to grow what I want to grow. I need some nitrogen in there, and I need some lime, but that's about it. But I'm growing plants that don't grow here naturally, and so I have to make sure I provide everything that they need to get the nutrients out of the soil and do their thing. And we've got the snap peas over here. Got this bed all cleaned out. And there's some poppies in there with it. But here's my snap peas, and they're producing nice peas for me. I love snap peas. And then below them are the parsnips. And I put some borage in here, and some poppies volunteered in there. These are just ornamentals in this garden. No edibles in there. This bed is the garlic that I grow. I grow music garlic. The very last row from me, one of my sons planted a garlic that he had and wanted to give it a try. I believe he said it was an Italian garlic. I'm not sure what he said it was. But that's doing well too. And he got that planted late actually, but it's still doing really well. As garlic does. And then this bed, I finally got straightened around. That needed a lot of repair. And as you can see, I don't care what it looks like when I repair it. I'm looking for function, not fashion. So here I have transplanted my... Let me get over here. I have transplanted my clerodendron. So I love clerodendron. It's been in a pot for way too many years. And now it's finally got its own little home. And then there's some fennel in there, because fennel kind of gets everywhere once you plant it. And there's fennel right there. Some poppies. Linaria, which will also go in the parameters of the garden. That right there, go close up. We'll see what happens with this. I can look at it later in the season. That is a very sad azalea. I don't know what happened to it last year, but it got in pretty bad shape. But this year, one little leaf showed up, and I thought, I gotta try to save that. So I just put that in this morning. I just moved it over here and put in some good compost, and we'll see what happens. We have sage, because I use a lot of that. And what else do we have here? Perennial poppy, right there. Got a perennial poppy. Those are some bulbs that have died back. And there's some grass in the way. Right there, I've got another bear's breech. Let's see, can we see it? Yeah, there it is. That's another bear's breech. I love the bear's breeches. It's not our native bear's breech, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm good with that. My Himalayan honeysuckle. Get over here and I can... And that is just coming back very nicely. I haven't got it trimmed up yet, but I did get a little fence around it so my dogs aren't tromping on it. And I've got to get all this grass that's on the side of the raised bed out of here. So that's where we're at right now. And yeah, we're coming along. I'm excited. Oh, so are my dogs. Okay, you guys have a good one.